Let's put it this way. I was training to become a psychopath and I failed. I did not complete the training and didn't become a psychopath. My conscience came back, and the most difficult part for me was, because I had such a great status there, I was a success. I was trusted with the people playing at this level.
Mensen in deze wereld die dus op dat niveau speelden.
To put it carefully, most of these people followed a not very mainstream religion. So, you have Catholics, Protestants, all sorts of religions. These people, most of them, were Luciferians. And then you can say, religion is a fairy tale, God doesn't exist, none of that is real. Well, for these people, it is truth and reality. And they served something immaterial, what they called Lucifer. And I also was in contact with those circles, only I laughed at it because to me they were just clients. So, I went to places called churches of Satan.
So now we are talking about Satanism.
Yes. So, I visited these churches, just as a visitor, dropped by. And then they were doing their holy mass with naked women and liquor and stuff. And it just amused me. I didn't believe in any of this stuff, and was far from convinced if any of this was real.
It was just a spectacle to you.
Yes, in my opinion, the darkness and evil is within the people themselves. I didn't make the connection yet. So I was a guest in those circles, and it amused me greatly to see all those named women and the other things.
Ik vond het allemaal wel leuk, al die blote vrouwen en al die dingetjes die daar speelden.
It was the good life. But then at some point, I was invited, which is why I'm telling you all this, to participate in sacrifices abroad.
That
was the breaking point. Children.
You were asked to do that?
Yes. And I couldn't do that.
Would you like to stop for a moment, by the way?
No. And then I started to slowly break down. I lived through quite a lot as a child myself, and this really touched me deeply. Everything changed. But that is the world I found myself in. And then I started to refuse assignments within my job. I could no longer do it, which made me a threat. I was no longer capable of functioning optimally. My performance started to shake and I had refused tasks. I had not participated. The purpose of the whole thing, eventually, in that world, is that they have everybody in their pocket. You need to be susceptible to blackmail. And blackmailing me proved to be very hard if I look back on it. They wanted to do that through those children. And that broke me.
Is that, you are not telling me something new, what they also do in politics?
If you Google this, you'll find enough worldwide witness accounts to know this isn't a Walt Disney fairy tale. Unfortunately, the truth is that worldwide they have been doing this for thousands of years. I once studied theology, and even in the Bible you find references to these practices with Israelites. The reason the first 10 tribes were banished to Babylonia was because of these rituals with children, including the sacrificing of children. So this is pertinent. All this made me believe, because I realized there was more to life than meets the eye. There is a whole invisible world. It is real. You really do talk about a dark force and a manifestation of light. So,
Dus ik
I
ben maar
resorted to
theologie gaan
studying
studeren om te
theology to
begrijpen waar
make
dit
sense
allemaal
of it
over
all.
ging.
And psychology as well, if I
Ja,
remember
alleen dat zat al
correctly?
in mijn eerste
Yes,
leven.
but that I did in my first
Omdat
life,
via
because through
commerciële
commercial
psychologie,
psychology, mass
massapsychologie,
psychology, I
ik
was
wist hoe
able
je
to
zaken
manipulate
aan de hand
situations for
kan
my
zetten.
own benefit.
That is scary, because if you dig into that you find Tavistock Institute and mind control,
Ja,
MK Ultra, Monarch and the
ja.
like.
Yes,
Ja,
that is
nee, dat
correct, but
klopt.
that was all
Maar
part
dat
of the
zat
job.
allemaal, zeg maar, in je werk zat dit allemaal.
Through
Ik ben
training at the job,
via mijn
I
werk
got into
juist
that
alleen maar
more
zwaarder in
deeply,
getraind.
because when you are making
Omdat
deals, you
als
also need to manipulate
als
the
je
media.
deals zet, moet je ook de media manipuleren. Je moet
You
heel
have
veel
to
manipuleren.
manipulate lots of
Want
things
alles moet
because
lijken
nothing
alsof
can be
het allemaal
seen as
niet
it
klopt
is.
en niet is zoals het is. Alles moet
Everything
anders
has to appear to be
overkomen.
something different.
Je kijkt
You
naar
see
het
the
volk
people as a
eigenlijk
flock of
als
sheep.
schapen.
You put a couple of border collies and drive them in a direction.
Drijf ze maar, want ik moet
And to be honest with you, I still see that happening around me. People are still, through the systems and methods that we ourselves used to use, being treated in that same way, and it still works. People still don't understand how it really works and are still on the level of as long as I have my beer and whatever, completely self-absorbed, also a survival mechanism. I mean, it is the program after all. But you still see how stupidly easy it is to put people in a certain direction, when you are the one pulling the strings that is.
Mass psychology.
Yes, and later, much later, in all those studies and discoveries, I found a document which they are claiming is bullshit, of course, the Protocols of Zion. And nowadays I recommend everyone to read the whole of that incredibly boring document. Just work through it, read it though.
Bijt er maar doorheen, ga het toch maar lezen.
We are also talking about Zionism.
Uiteraard.
Yes, of course. If you read the Protocols of Zion,
leest
and really study them and understand, then it is like reading the newspaper of the daily life. How from their position of ultimate power, and ultimate it has literally become. But that is only because the people don't stand up for themselves. They don't realize what reality is.
And we have all been programmed. If you dare to say you are against Zionism, then you are branded an anti-Semite.
The negative, you can say evil, the Luciferians, the Satanists, whatever you wish to call it, it is a real entity. I have found that what is written in the Bible, and not just the Bible, you can find it in so many books. There really has been a moment of separation from the manifestation of light, in which a group went their own way and are carrying an intense hatred, anger.
Een intense haat heeft, een kwaadheid heeft.
The people who do not underestimate the severity of this are but few. Because this is an all-annihilating force that hates our guts. It hates creation. It hates life. And it will do anything to destroy us completely. And the way to do that is to divide humanity. Divide and conquer is their truth. Humanity is a manifestation of light. That is the true creation. As long as you divide them based on political parties, skin color,
kleurtjes waar we op afgerekend worden.
you name it, then you, from a Luciferian point of view that is, suppress the full capacities of your enemy, their full power.
Tot zijn volle potentie komt, niet tot zijn volle kracht komt.
They can't stand up for themselves. Because if that would happen, the Luciferians would lose. Then this monster, the greedy monster, would disappear.
Die verdwijnt.